What a wonderful group. What a wonderful group to see here tonight. I don't think Council Chambers has been filled to this capacity in quite a while. So thank you all for being here tonight and welcome. This is a regular meeting of the City Council, the City of Pacific Grove. It's Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. It's 6 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order. Note that all council members are present. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second, Your Honor.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously, 6-0. All right, on to item 2A, Mr. Mogensen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The last time perhaps we'll say that this evening to you. This item will be presented by our city clerk.
Thank you, City Manager Mogensen. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, council members, staff, and members of the public. My staff report includes a resolution to declare the results of the November 5th, 2024 municipal election. City Charter Article 9 requires results of the municipal elections be declared by action of the council at its first public meeting after certification of the election results. California Elections Code 10263 requires council declare elected the persons for whom the highest number of votes were cast for each office. Adoption of the proposed resolution will accomplish this declaration, and as you will note, that resolution was revised and the final results were attached via errata, and it should be on the dais as well as a copy for the public's view. The statement of votes cast certifies the election of Nick Smith as mayor, the re-election of Chap Spiteri, and the election of Tina Rao and Paul Walkingstick as council members to our city council. Additionally, Measure Q passed by majority vote by the people of the City of Pacific Grove, and Measure Z did not pass. Staff's recommendation tonight is to approve the resolution declaring the results of the November 5th, 2024 municipal election. This concludes staff's report, and thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll go for public comment. If you would like to speak, please come to the podium. It's on the right.
Good evening. My name is Susan Goldbeck, and I've been a citizen of Pacific Grove for 35 years. And I'm now the queen bee of the BBB Society. And what our goal is to do public outreach to bring the butterflies back to Pacific Grove. And what that means is the giant, beautiful stained glass butterfly on the top of the Holman building for 4 decades was taken out of there when
Excuse me, Mayor.
Nader August sold the
I think there may
building.
be some confusion about what item we're on now.
This is not general public comment. This is comment
Just
on,
general public comment?
no.
I'm sorry.
This is not general public comment.
Oh, say public comment, anyone who wants to speak.
It's on this particular item,
I'm
which is
sorry.
the declaration of
I'll be back.
the election. Okay. All right, let's try it one more time. How about our virtual audience?
Ms. Miller?
I would just like to congratulate everyone who is going to be seated on the city council and thank everyone who ran. I think this is indicative of a town or a village that really cares and tries to be involved. There are some sticky issues coming up, but I know that you will do your best. Thank you so much for being there for us.
Debbie Beck?
Good evening, everyone. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Councilmember Luke Coletti for his dedicated service to the residents of Pacific Grove over the past 4 years. He has demonstrated exceptional leadership and a steadfast commitment to supporting our community. His deep knowledge of our city's needs and priorities has consistently guided his work, and he has always put Pacific Grove first. I wish him all the best in his future endeavors and want to express my sincere gratitude for being one of the finest council members I have had the privilege to work with and observe in service in our city. And I'd like to congratulate incoming council member Tina Rao and also Mr. Walking Stick. Have a great evening.
We do not have any more public comment online.
All right, I'd like to hear a motion.
I'll make motion.
Go ahead. Councilmember Emilio.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution declaring the results of November 5th general election.
Second.
All, before we vote, I have a couple of comments to make on this. I want to echo some comments that were just made by Ms. Miller. First of all, congratulations to the newly elected or about to be sworn in officials and those that have been reelected to city government. Well done. And I'm hoping and rooting for your success, because when you're successful, we all are. Have sacrificed personal time and efforts with the expectation that they might be sacrificing quite a bit of their personal time in the future, and a bit of courage to be out there to be judged by the community for the position of government here. And so I'm very, very much appreciative of all the people that ran, put themselves out. And this is the way our city government, our democracy works best, right? Without choices, and you provided the choices and the discussions of what our city government should do. So thank you all very much. Councilmember Pedori.
Thank you, Mayor. And I would also like to echo the same thoughts. I would like to thank, first of all, Mayor Bo Peak. It's a really tough job to be on the seat for 4 years, but you've been doing it for more than that. But I really appreciate what you've done with the city to take the city forward on a lot of items here. I would also like to appreciate and thank Mr. Coletti for what he's done in the past 4 years, as well as Councilwoman Peck, who was there on the council. I would also like to thank the candidates who are running, and congratulations to the new candidates that are here. In addition, I would actually like to thank the city, because an 80% plus turnout, that is fantastic. So I really congratulate all of you for participating in the democratic process and taking things forward. So thank you very much.
Councilmember McDonald.
Well, since we're doing shout outs, I would definitely like to thank Mayor Peak, first of all, for great mentoring, because coming into this seat, there's so much you don't know until you get here. So thank you so much for all you have taught us over the years about good government and good governance. And thank you so much for that. And the same to Luke Coletti, who I feel I've learned so much about really understanding all you've brought forward for all the ordinances and things we could do to fix and improve city government, to make sure that we've updated things that may have been way out of date, and always so much supporting the public. And also congratulations to Paul Walking Stick and Tina Rao for joining us. And I'm looking forward to more business to come. Thank you.
Councilmember Coletti.
Thank you, Your Honor. I too want to echo my thoughts and congratulations to the mayor, and also to really point out the fact that he always let council members explore the space, as it were. And he was always the last to speak and the first to encourage council members to go out and develop their own ideas, bring them to council, ground truth them, and hopefully have them adopted. So I think the mayor has been an exceptional mayor, and it was a privilege serving with you. And also congratulations to all the candidates who were elected this last election. Thank you.
Councilmember Emilio.
We're discussing everything now. Bill, it's been great knowing you, and I know we'll see each other in the future, that's for sure. And I also want to congratulate Shirley Peak, who's out in the audience, because you have to have a spouse that's going to support you. And I do want to congratulate all the candidates too. And I want to tell you a quick story from a former mayor that was on for a long time. And he told me, Joe, the first day is great. Then it's all downhill. No, it isn't. It's also, Will, it's been a pleasure working with you and getting together socially. And you've been a real mentor to me when I first got elected in 2018. I really appreciate it. And thank you very much. And Luke, good luck to you. And thank you for your input and everything. I really appreciate it. So, and chaps, I'll see you next time.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll just say that I'm going to be making some comments and I don't want to spend too much time talking tonight. So, they expect them to be lengthy.
All right, we had a motion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. All right. Mr. Mogensen, item B, certificates.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. So before we get started with some certificates from the city, Supervisor Mary Adams is here as well to present a couple to you as well. So we'd like to start with those if possible.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I must admit, when you just said all in favor, I nearly said aye. No, wait, wrong place. But thank you all for coming out for this lovely, lovely kind of transfer. It really is a very big pleasure for me on behalf of the county to present two certificates of appreciation. And I will do so right away. But I will do so by asking our supervisor-elect, Kate Daniels, who is here to come and join me for this, because you'll all be able to work with Kate in the near future. I'm sorry I wasn't at the meeting this morning. Great, good. So thank you. I'm not going to take over your meeting, I promise. So we'll just scooch on here. But maybe you could help me by holding the microphone. So our first certificate goes to Luke Coletti. And it is with sincere appreciation for your service to the Pacific Grove community. As a local boy, you really know your way around Pacific Grove, and you showed terrific leadership and much hard work, particularly around the Chautauqua Hall restoration and work. And it was really wonderful. Just standing on the outside, seeing the work that you did was really something. So it gives me a good, big pleasure. You can, why don't you?
I think he's going to cover us.
Yeah. You're going to stay up there? Okay, do you want to say any comments?
Yes, I'm thinking vacation rental ordinances as well. And so thank you very much for your work and the connection that I've been able to have with you on housing when in a few meetings where I got to know you and see your real commitment to ensuring housing for our community members. So thank you for that work. And even beyond your service here, I look forward to working with you in my next iteration as the county supervisor. So I hope you'll stay in touch. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And now it is a great honor and pleasure for me to present this certificate to Bill Peak, the outgoing mayor of the city of Pacific Grove, with sincere appreciation for your many years of exemplary service to the city of Pacific Grove. The residents of the county of Monterey wish you much success, joy, health, and happiness in all your future endeavors. And I am especially pleased to be able to present this to Bill because he has really been a strong, a very good contact for me to have, a really strong leader, someone who represents not just the city of Pacific Grove, but really like a more of a visionary sort of person. As the supervisor, I pulled together we had sort of bi-monthly meetings of the three mayors that I represent, City of Carmel, City of Monterey, and City of Pacific Grove. And Bill was always so important at those meetings because he would ask questions that the others hadn't thought of. And then we would have the opportunity to have unity among the mayors, particularly around the issues of COVID. Bill was a really strong leader in COVID in our community and in our county, and will be remembered for that. One of the first things that we did, of course, everyone remembers the ship that came in, but honestly, Pacific Grove has a reputation of being a really welcoming community because of that activity. And then the opportunity we had to speak with the other two mayors leading with Bill's leadership about how are we going to deal with the beaches during COVID. And it was really helpful. And you should be very, very proud of the mayor that you have had. And I know equally proud of the new mayor that you're going to have. So it is just with that I wanted to be able to present this to you personally, because it's been such a treat to work with you. So I really, really value you. Thank you.
And I thank you as well. And I'm looking forward to carrying on in the time that I've had a chance to work with you, the things that I know are important to you and to Pacific Grove, and getting to continue working with the rest of your colleagues here on the council and making sure things like our water supply are secure and solid, and continuing the work you did. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So the first outgoing council person that we'll recognize tonight for their years of service and all that they accomplished in that time, I'll turn this way, is Councilmember Luke Coletti. As you all know, in I think all of Luke's years of service, he has been very busy. He's definitely somebody who comes to work every day and has put a lot into this position. A couple of the accomplishments that we'll highlight here this evening are, first of all, introduced some ballot measures, the most recent one being Measure Q, which passed, which further clarified the city's prohibition on timeshares. Luke also introduced quite a few ordinances that further limited the impacts of short-term rentals on the community, pushed forward efforts to protect the urban forests and our natural habitat, things that have been put in motion and will continue on, promoted additional financial transparency in the city and in council decision-making, initiated council policy to increase public participation in council meetings, and then served on several subcommittees. Again, kind of the tireless work that he's been doing the whole time here. One of the things that I will miss being only 6 months on the job here is just having that research, person that is always there to answer a question, but we'll still have your phone number, so I'm sure I'll be able to call. But you definitely, have an archive of information. So with that, on behalf of the city council and the residents, we'd like to present you with this recognition and a certificate of appreciation for your years of service. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. And we also had two others that couldn't be with us tonight. We have one from Assemblymember Don Addis's office that will present a certificate of recognition, and also one from Senator Lair's office. Absolutely, keep for yourself. All right, thank you.
I would like to say a couple of things. Thank you, Matt. First, I want to thank the PG voters for all their support over the years. That's meant a lot to me, and I deeply appreciate it. I also want to thank my colleagues and staff. I've enjoyed participating in local government, and I'm very proud of the accomplishments and progress we have made, especially in the last 2 years. So thank you very much.
And doing the honors of recognizing Mayor Peak this evening. Do I have it incorrect? Are we switching up the schedule?
Okay, I think this one's good too.
Yeah, dueling microphones.
So Max, yes. Good evening, everyone. Mayor, I'm going to stand right here. So if you want to join me over here. So it's great to be here tonight and see everyone here. And I've been given this great opportunity to thank Mayor Bill Peak for his many years of distinguished service to the community of City of Pacific Grove. First elected in 2014, he served on the council for one 4-year term, but in 2018, his number was called and he won his first mayoral election. He won 2 elections after that in 2020 and 2022. So he's 4-0 as it is. And I would say, in my opinion, it's no accident that he's 4-0 because he's a tireless campaigner. He's very bright, and he made it a point to visit every single door in the community. I feel that he wanted to know what the voters wanted for the community, and that's really what drove him doing that, and also what drove his leadership in the city of Pacific Grove. Now, if you've been around here long, you know that we have some pretty long meetings here, some that go into the late hours of the evening. And I sometimes joke that I never saw Bill eat or drink anything over the course of a 6-hour meeting. I wasn't sure how he did that. I said he was a machine. The majority of the council could be enjoying fine cuisine from one of our great restaurants upstairs during a closed session and trying to get full before anticipating a long meeting. But Bill would just be sitting there steadfastly, focusing on the agenda items, getting the things checked off in an orderly fashion. And that was Bill. That's classic Bill right there. And that shows his dedication. He also has a superhuman ability to sit very still during a meeting and assimilate information, often reaching the necessary conclusions to bring consensus to the group. These things speak to his intellect, which is impressive, and his work ethic, which is equally impressive. And now, I think this might be an understatement, but Bill is committed to transparency, and it's not just lip service, and it showed throughout his term. He pushed for the completion of a great many informative reports and the publication of city documents online. He was very in tune with the understanding the business of the government and making that information available to the public. And Bill, he loves reports. I mean, this guy really loves reports. All kinds of reports. I'll be frank, some of these reports were a bit arcane, but I saw the method. You get the information and you better understand a problem, and then you can fashion solutions. That was a hallmark of Bill's terms, his inclination to open the book and share with the community, and his willingness to wade into a tough problem and try to solve it. And because he was by trade an engineer, you might think Bill may not be interested in writing. Au contraire, I will tell you that Bill loves writing maybe as much as he loves reports. He routinely took things I and others wrote and cut them in half. Much to our dismay, he is an aggressive editor, always trying to provide a clearer picture to the reader, dispense with frivolities, and lay out all of the options. His writing is clear and concise, and he was not afraid to put his sentiments in writing, which benefited the community greatly, giving clarity to our policies. Now, I could have put this one first, but Bill is also committed to procedure, and that may be an understatement as well. But that may be his greatest gift to the city. Bill drafted a policy for just about every issue of importance, and we adopted those policies, and they now guide our decision-making processes for many important issues. You see, Bill, before his council service, Bill worked at Chevron for many years, and I don't know exactly what he did at Chevron, but if they didn't have him working on policies and procedures or quality control or something of that nature, then they were totally missing out on that skill set. Bill understood that good procedure would not only clarify the objectives of the body, but also lead to the most equitable results. He was efficient and effective during his terms, and the council completed a great many tasks, too many to go over, but I will highlight a few. The local coastal program certification, the Point Pinos coastal trail completion, outdoor dining program, the downtown PG Hotel under construction, the ATC Hotel project in progress, virtual public meetings in response to the pandemic, the library renewal project completion, the hiring of the new city manager and city attorney, improved governance, and going back to policies, reserves policy, board and commission handbook, code of conduct, city manager performance evaluation policy, council goals policy, online posting of city agreements policy. I mean, I can go on here. You could see a trend here. Workplace safety policy. And he also worked on building partnerships between the school district and the city, helping to create a joint subcommittee with the school district, and also helping to create the facilities use agreement so that we could use and share our facilities together as sister jurisdictions. And all of these tasks were completed with an environment of civil and open debate and discourse. And that is a win for local government. Now, I could go on and extol Bill's many virtues, but I will cut this short and just add that Bill is as wise as he is all of the other things I mentioned. The city benefited from his keen judgment on difficult issues that we faced. And Bill also, what some people don't know because he is such a professional, is he likes to have a good time and hang out with his wife and friends. So this will be his opportunity to do that now more often, probably. Not going burning the midnight oil, writing policies and things of that nature. So Bill, with that, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your contributions to our fair city and wish you the very best in your retirement. And I also have, this is from the city of Pacific Grove, and I also have Senator Laird's office provided you with the Senate's certificate, and Assemblywoman Addis provided you with the Assembly certificate.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Last time I can say Mayor Pro Tem Smith, Mayor-elect Smith. And now my head is about to burst from all the kind words. So thank you so much. It's, it's really been an honor and a privilege to serve the city of Pacific Grove and its residents and citizens. The key for me is that you all put your trust in me as well as city council to do the right thing. And though obviously we don't always agree on things, there was the trust that we'll try to do what's right for everybody. And so I know speaking for my colleagues now, former colleagues, I can say we always had that in mind. So I've been asked why not run again? It was just my turn to pass the baton. City government is never ending. And so we've got a crew that has a lot of energy, enthusiasm, and I wish them again so much of success. And now for my my Academy Award moment, and I want to thank first of all my supporters. I want to thank all the people that have participated, sometimes very vocally, in city government, at city council meetings, because that's the way this whole system works. I especially want to thank all my colleagues. They've just been awesome. And I want to single out Councilmember Coletti. He came in. No one has worked harder and investigated more aspects of city government than he has in the last 4 years. So that was always appreciated. We had many long discussions about how things should work better. So thank you so much. And then of course I want to thank Shirley, who put up with so many discussions. Often, it's late at night council meetings, and none of us can just turn it off and go to sleep at 11 o'clock at night. And she's there, nicely listening to me go on and on. So thank you so much.
Yeah, next we'll do the oaths and then we'll take a break. You guys ready? Okay.
Yeah, we were going to do one at a time.
One at a time.
Yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to briefly say that no council action is required at this time. As a city clerk, I will administer separately oaths to the Mayor-elect Nick Smith and council members-elect Baduri, Rao, and Walking Stick. So let me come up. Testing, testing. Okay. Raise your hand, please, and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Nick Smith,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and
to the
allegiance
Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and I take this obligation freely
and I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And I will have Councilmember Paduri. Hello, sir. You will raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, and state your name, please.
I, Chaps Baduri,
Do solemnly swear
do
or affirm
solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and I take this obligation freely
and I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Thank you. Good evening. Raise your right hand, please. I, and state your name,
I, Tina Rao,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the State of California
to the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the United States,
and I take this obligation freely
and I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you. Well. Good evening.
Good evening. Is that on? Yep. Okay, there we go.
Yes. Raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I, and state your name, please.
I, Paul Walking Stick,
Do solemnly swear or
Do-
affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and I take this obligation freely
and I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental
or
reservation
purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe that concludes this portion of the agenda. And I think what we have next is maybe comments.
I think we're gonna break for cookies, right? That is next on the agenda. Congratulations, everybody, and let's have cookies. I got it right here. Okay, here we go. All right. All right, good. I didn't have to bring the gavel too hard to get everyone to stop socializing on this great night. Okay, so we've now reached, thank you everybody for again for being here. We've now obviously seated new council members and we are going to proceed with our business. And I'm going to ask first, I was asked if Councilmember Rao would like to make a comment, so I'm going to acknowledge her at this time.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to take a moment to thank the voters of Pacific Grove. The total came out, it was about 85.3% of the city voted. And I mean, we could tell the rest of the country a thing or two about how important it is to get out and vote. And to the people who came here tonight to support the process, thank you very much. Tonight, I would like to offer a land acknowledgement with the hope that we can add this to the council agenda at some point in the future. Perhaps after the Pledge of Allegiance, and have a different council member read it at each meeting. I would also like to suggest that we put this item on the agenda next time with the council support. Direct the DEI task force to work with the Remsen and Ohlone representatives to draft a land acknowledgement for the city of Pacific Grove. What is Indigenous land acknowledgement important? According to Northwestern University, it is so that we understand the history that has brought us to reside on the land, and we seek to understand our place within that history. Land acknowledgements do not exist in the past tense or historical content. Colonialism is a current ongoing process, and we need to be mindful about our present participation. So for tonight, I offer this. We acknowledge that we are meeting today on the land of the Remsen and Ohlone people, whose ancestors cared for this land for thousands of years. We honor their connection to this land and respect their presence, past, present, and future. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any further council member comments before we go on to reports from the city attorney, if any? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and I'll turn to my city manager. Do you have any report tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do have a couple things to update the council and community on. The first one is from our community development department on regarding our housing element. So our draft housing element is going to be released for public review and comment on Monday, December 9th. This will address HCD comments that were received in January and changes to the housing sites inventory that removed unclassified sites that would have required a vote of the people. You remember we went through this process a couple months ago. The 7-day public comment period will be open from December 9th, 5 p.m. through December 16th. And all comments should be sent to housing@cityofpacificgrove.org. And you'll be able to find all that information on our website under our housing element web pages. The other thing, just for the public and for the council's preview, is on our next council meeting, we will be talking once again about districting. So we'll have our second public hearing of our 4, and that'll be basically a repeat of the hearing we did on November 20th. So just a heads up on that one. Thank you very much. And I'll turn to our city attorney. If you have anything.
I have no reports tonight.
Oh, thank you, sir. Okay, then we will go ahead and move on to general public comment. And before I get to the audience for general public comment on items not on the agenda, I will acknowledge Rotary Club of Pacific Grove for their donation.
As you probably all are aware, this is our 30th year of the Auto Rally. And the Auto Rally was developed in 1994 to support the youth center. So we have a check tonight for the youth center. And our president, Julie Roth. So it's the amount of 10,000.
There's also a donation for the Children's Library as well. And we just really wanted to thank Dan Go, Katie Clark for all their support, the city for supporting this event for 30 years, as well as he's retired now, but Rocky always did a great job for us from Public Works. And this past year, Martin really stepped up and filled his shoes and helped out immensely. So we really appreciate all the support to be able to continue to do this event. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for all you do with Rotary at Pacific Grove. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
I go. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll take it. That's fine. So now we'll move on to general public comment. Item 4B, we move on to general public comments. These are comments on items not appearing on tonight's agenda. And we'll acknowledge people in chambers first.
No.
There you go. There you go. No. There you go. Right there.
Am I good now?
Yeah.
I'm Christy, President and CEO of the Pacific Grove Chamber. We have a really fun month ahead, and I just want to give you a heads up on all of our events coming up, starting tomorrow with the Parade of Lights. Be down there at 6 o'clock on Lighthouse. We have 57 entries, including Santa. Then Saturday is Stillwell's Fun in the Park. 11 to 2 o'clock, Santa will be there as well. A lot of fun for the kids, and it's all free. Tuesday is our Holiday at the Inns. We're almost sold out. We're going to sell 500 tickets this year. We're at almost 400 right now. So get your ticket if you want to go. They're $30. That's from 5 to 9 on Tuesday the 10th. Then we're bringing for the Business Improvement District. We have it's called Shop, Sip, and Stroll from 5 to 9 on Thursdays, December 12th and the 19th. And Santa will be down there. Hot chocolate, stores will be open. Do your last minute shopping, downtown Pacific Grove. And that'll be all over Lighthouse. We have a lot of stores that are open that usually are not open at night. And then we're looking for carolers, so if you know anybody, send them our way. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Metzner.
Out tonight, not only to congratulate the new council members and the new mayor, well, the new council member, the re-elected council member and the mayor, but also really to introduce myself as the supervisor-elect and encourage everybody on the dais that to reach out to me in my new role. I take office on January 7th. And I really feel so strongly that, you know, all the things that I talked about on the campaign trail, all the things that I would like to accomplish as the 5th district supervisor, together, if we work together, we will do so much more. So I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you what your vision is for Pacific Grove. What are the big things you want to get done? What are the little things that you need our help at the supervisor's level to help you with? And just to really encourage everyone to please stay in touch. Let's work together. Let's do this work together. And I know that the future is really bright. So thank you all for just giving me a moment here to introduce myself as the incoming supervisor, to congratulate you all, and to just really express how much I'm looking forward to working with every one of you. And so with that, have a great meeting. Congratulations. And I look forward to hearing from you all soon. And if I don't, you'll hear from me, I promise.
Thank you very much, Supervisor-elect Daniels.
I'm back. I'm so embarrassed. I just can't hear very well. Congratulations to you all. Nice to have a new council. And we all thank you for your service because we know it takes a lot of time. I just came tonight for a little status report about the BBB, which is the Bring Back the Butterflies. And the butterflies for your new council members is the stained glass window that's hung for 4 decades in the Holman Building. And now we are doing it. The BBB is the Bring the Butterflies Back Committee, and we're trying to get public outreach to see whether or not the public wants this before we resubmit the gift and where they'd like to have it. And I can tell you that just like it was when they were in front of the BNRC, people are wildly supportive of this gift. They also, by far and away, support having it installed in the front curved window of the museum. I mean, it's a perfect place for it. It fits there. It's going to be lighted from the back. I was at the tree lighting on Monday. The kids were up on the steps singing carols, and you could see the curved windows. But if you can imagine that, it's made for there. It fits in there. It's beautiful. Next year, if you guys accept it, it'll be shining down on those kids, and it's going to be awesome. So, but I did want to give you a little update. We've been going in front of the markets, in front of Butterfly Weekend, and in front of the post office. And I want to give you a couple of the comments that have been made, because I think it gives you an idea how much the public really likes this. Is there anything about this that doesn't make sense? That's a firm yes. That's excellent. The perfect place. After all, it's Butterfly Town. It's part of our history. The city ought to jump at this. I hope to see it. I don't know anybody who wouldn't want this. I like that. It would be nice for people to see that. I think it would go perfectly in our town. We did ask for other locations, but the city has pretty much put thumbs down on the idea of it being outside somewhere. You know, like some of the people wanted it to be between the 2 lighthouses. But there's a vandalism problem. It's just not very good. So we're now we've done a lot of outreach to the public. We're continuing to do it. We have talked to hundreds of people, and our group has been working very hard. And so we're going to come here periodically to let you know. And when we get everything set up, we're meeting with the business community next week. But so far, we talked to the people that are building the new hotel there on Central. This isn't working very well. But anyway, they're really in favor of it because it'll be such a nice thing to have that square there with the brand new hotel and the library and the museum. And the Rotary gave them some nice picnic benches now that we have there. So it'll be just fabulous.
Ma'am,
So,
that's 3 minutes. We're going to move on to the
Okay.
next speaker. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Is anyone else in chambers wishing to speak? Please come forward.
Okay.
Is there anyone else in chambers? Okay.
If you guys could queue up, if you want to speak, please queue up in the front.
Evening, welcome, and I'm really excited about this new council and our new mayor. Regarding, my name is Carol Marquardt, and I'm a member, and I live in Pacific Grove. Regarding the land acknowledgement, I can't believe that was the first thing that new council member Rao would bring up. Because I want to emphasize that we all belong here. This land belongs to all of us. So more on that later. But I'm going to address the position of Debbie Beck's position. And I was reading on a website called, PG Progressive Party, and they are congratulating their members, and they should congratulate their members. And they're announcing who all the Democrats are who are on this council. I'd like you to consider the fact that they're on this website, PG Progressive, is, somebody holding a sign saying exclude Trump. I'm sure there's many people in California who feel that way. But you also have to remember diversity, and there are people who are independents, the Republicans, they have different points of view, and I hope that the person you select for Debbie Beck's position will represent somebody other than Democrats or left-wing people. Thank you.
Okay, let's check with, oh, we have one more in the chamber. Mr. Miller?
And just a reminder that you only need to be 4 to 5 inches. You should be 4 to 5 inches from the microphone. Otherwise, it's very garbled.
Well, I have a loud voice, so I don't know about 45 inches, but that's okay. My name is Alex Miller, and I am a council member with the great city of Seaside. Seaside and Pacific Grove have a lot in common. We used to share a police chief. Our police chief used to wear Seaside patch on one side and Pacific Grove patch on the other. We are friends, I promise. We both live on our cities are both located on the best place of the world, on the Monterey Peninsula. We have hearts of gold, and we are great people everywhere on the peninsula. I'm here as a council member to recognize the incoming council and the Pacific Grove new mayor, Mr. Smith, and congratulations and a hard fought campaign. We want to strengthen the bond with the cities on the coast. If we strengthen the bonds on the communities and the cities on the coast and the county, we will be stronger together. I do remember meeting the new mayor, Nick Smith, at a Cal Cities event. And Cal Cities is a lobbyist branch of California and Sacramento. And being a council member, one of the greatest parts is the joys in the journey. The joy is meeting the people, meeting fellow council members, meeting the people of our community. And when I was at the restaurant at the hotel that we were staying at in Paso Robles, I was fortunate enough to sit next to Mr. Smith. And Mr. Smith and I immediately started talking law and politics and things that are important to everyday people, things that are important to the youth, things that are important to the elderly, things that are important to our community. And it was so refreshing, the ideas that he was talking about, because I shared similar thinking and similar ideologies as him. And as he embarks on this new journey as mayor, we want to say from the city of Seaside, we wish you the best of luck. And we wish the new council members as well the best of luck. And we look forward to working with everybody. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Councilmember Miller. Appreciate it. All right, we'll go ahead and check the online, see if anyone would like to make a general public comment.
I do see a hand raised. Lisa Gianni?
Thank you. First, I'd certainly like to congratulate the new mayor and the new council members. I very much appreciate Tina Rao's leadership right from the start, with the recommendation that meetings start also with a Indigenous land acknowledgement. This land was taken from the Native people who lived here. The current Indigenous people, the descendants of the people who were there at that time, have ancestors here. And I have trouble understanding the threat people feel in acknowledging that. They lived a different way on the land. And current society, in the face of climate change, is recognizing that the traditional Indigenous ways of living on the land and how they used resources, the respect they had for the land and the sea, were a tremendous model to follow, as whether we're doing cultural burning now with the state parks, or is so many different ways that we are learning and practicing this. So I do hope that the city of Pacific Grove will adopt land acknowledgements. It's a very simple but meaningful step in recognizing who has gone before, who is still here, the Native Americans who are still here and suffering from how they were brutally treated. I'd also like to say really quickly, even though it's too late, and Mayor Peak has probably gone home, former Mayor Peak, but I do want to say how much I appreciated his respect for the public, his respect on the dais for public comment, and the fact that he went to, I don't even know how many different board and commission meetings he must have gone to. All I know is from my Zoom vantage point, there was the back of his head all the time. So I appreciate that connection and that respect for the work that boards and commissions do. And of course, Luke Coletti's tremendous contributions to the city as well. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Close public comment, general public comment. We're going to move on to the consent agenda at this time, dealing with routine and non-controversial items. And I will ask the council, is there anyone wishing to pull any of these items tonight? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and ask the public, is there anyone in the public wishing to pull a consent agenda item tonight? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and I'll entertain action on the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion on the floor, Councilmember Emilio,
Second.
second by Councilmember Rao. Any discussion? Okay, we'll go for a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously, 6-0. Thank you very much, everyone. We passed the consent agenda. We're going to move on to the regular agenda. This is item 11, public hearings. And we're going to move on to 11A, ordinance to amend the salary schedule. And I'm going to acknowledge at this time Stephanie Ariola, management analyst with Citi.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, staff, members of the public. Today, I'm here to present an ordinance to amend the salary schedule minimum wage. This will go into effect January 1st of 2025. California minimum wage will change from $16 to $16.50 hourly for employees. The city has a couple of impacted classifications, which include the cashier for the lighthouse, interns, lighthouse docent coordinator, recreation assistant 1, and we also have one classification which needs to be adjusted to avoid classification salary compaction issues, which is recreation assistant 2. And as for fiscal impact, there is no fiscal impact since the minimum wage was taken into consideration for this fiscal year. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great report. Nice and concise. We'll go ahead and take it out to the public in chambers first. Seeing no one wishing to comment on this item, I'll go ahead and ask the public online if anyone would like to comment on item 11A.
I see no hands raised, Mayor.
Okay, I'll close public comment on 11A, bring it back to the council for action.
I'd like to move recommended action and request the city attorney to read the title of the ordinance.
Excellent. Thank you.
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pacific Grove, amending the salary classification schedule to comply with the California minimum wage.
Okay, and I'll move to waive further reading of the ordinance.
My suggestion in that regard, Councilmember Paduri, would be to make a motion to approve the remaining recommended actions.
Make a motion to move the remaining recommended actions.
Second. We have a motion by Councilmember Doyle, second by Emilio. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, I'll call for a voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, passes unanimously, 6-0. Thank you very much, Ms. Ariola. And we will go ahead and go past 12 and go straight to 13. This is 13A, the Mayor Pro Tem selection process. And I will acknowledge our City Clerk, Sandra Candel.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor, council members, and staff and members of the public. Article 11 of the Charter of the Pacific Grove, City of Pacific Grove states that council shall choose one of its members to serve as Mayor Pro Tempore during the absence of the mayor. Council Policy 000-28, which is also attached to the agenda report, sets forth the process. Tonight's recommendation is to select a Mayor pro tempore in accordance with charter and council policy through nominations from city council. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandra. We'll go ahead and take it out to the public in chambers for comment on the Mayor Pro Tem item. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and check with the online attendees. Any comment on the Mayor Pro Tem item?
No hands raised, Mayor.
Seeing none, we'll close public comment, bring it back to the council, and I'm going to go ahead and lead it off here. I'm going to go ahead at this time and nominate Councilmember Joe Emilio. Joe Emilio has been on the council since 2018. He's the senior council member at this time. And so he is my nomination for Mayor Pro Tem. He's always been reliable and always at the meetings, and he's willing to do the work. So I'm nominating him at this time, and at this time I'll take any further nominations from the anyone wish to make, if any. Please let me know.
I'll second that nomination, and Joe, looking forward to it.
Any further comments of the council? Okay, then with that, I will close the nominations. Or do we need a motion for that?
It does say in the agenda, a motion is made to close nominations, so.
So moved.
Now you need a second.
Second. It was a race to the second, but okay. Any further discussion? Okay, we'll go ahead and take it to a voice vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously 6-0. Thank you very much, everyone. Our new Mayor Pro Tem is Joe Emilio.
Yeah, hold on one second. The agenda also says that it's going to be a roll call vote.
Okay.
So
back it up.
My assumption is that what you just voted on was to close the nominations. So now we'll need a roll call vote to confirm the nomination.
My apologies, that's correct. So go ahead and take a roll call vote, Ms. Kanda.
Thank you. Councilmember Rao?
Aye.
Councilmember Dury? Mayor Smith? Councilmember Emilio? Councilmember McDonald?
Aye.
And Councilmember Walkenstick?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
That's great. Thank you very much. 6-0, unanimous vote. And our congratulations to our new Mayor Pro Tempore, Joe Emilio.
Thank you.
Okay, and so we'll go ahead and go to 13B, which is our last agenda item. This is a discussion of the process for filling our vacancy here on the City Council. And so I will acknowledge Mr. Mogensen now.
Thank you, Mayor Smith. I will try to be as expedient as Ms. Arroyo. So everybody's aware that Councilmember Beck has resigned from the council effective the end of the meeting on November 20th. And our city charter provides a process for when we have a vacancy on our council. That process is fairly high level, but it describes the council appointing a council, making an appointment. And if the council doesn't make that appointment, then within 30 days, the mayor can make an appointment. So the city clerk, to get us moving within this process here, has created an application form that we'll be able to use for those interested in applying for this position to use to apply. So tonight we brought forward some recommendations on how the council can go about this process. And once we kind of lay these out, we'd like to, have the council's discussion and give direction on exactly how you would like to go about it. So our recommendation includes opening up an application period that'll go from roughly tomorrow through January 3rd. And in that time, anybody who's interested to submit to be a council member can submit an application along with any other information that they'd like to provide as well, supplemental information, I mean. After January 3rd, we'll close the application period. So we won't take any more applications at that point. And then on January 15th, I should step back. Prior to the meeting on January 15th, all the applications will be packaged together and then published on the city council agenda. And on January 15th, the council will hold a hearing, if you will, almost. So we'll provide a general report that's going to have all of the applications with the information, but we're going to redact all the personal information, of course. So during the meeting, the council will ask questions of the applicants, but we're going to give each applicant a short period of time, say 5 minutes, if that's what you desire, for them to give their put their best foot forward, if you will. And to, present to the council the reason why they'd be a good nomination for the council. Following that, the council will ask further questions if you wish to of the applicants, but you will also deliberate. And then ultimately you'll make a motion and begin your voting process. And before I complete my report, I will ask the city attorney if I've omitted anything.
Well, I would just add to what you've commented on. I didn't hear you mention this. You might have. As shown on the application form, which is attached to the agenda report, the applications are to be obtained from the city clerk, either upon request by an email to the city clerk or coming in person to make that request. And then the application form would be returned to the city clerk as well. And her email address is in the application form itself. I would also mention that applications that are received after January 3rd, which is the deadline, will not be considered by the city council. And I have nothing more to add.
Mr. Mayor, if I could also, just in your deliberations tonight, if you could give us direction as to items number, I guess, 5 and 6. I think that's going to be the heart of the process on January 15th. Just a concurrence of whether or not you believe that's a correct process or if any of it needs to be modified.
Okay, very good. Is that all for now? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mogensen, and thank you, Mr. Pierrick, for the time that you spent to think through all of these things. The language of the charter was pretty, just very clear. And so you guys went through and kind of made this workable for us, which I really appreciate. And I'm going to go ahead and take it out to the public in chambers to comment on 13B. This is the vacancy process.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, council members, congratulations, welcome. My name is Don Murphy. For this month and next month, I'm on your planning commission, but I'm speaking just as a resident. I'm assuming applications are public information, and I would ask that the city make arrangements to have them available on the website as they come in, not necessarily wait until before your meeting. That's sort of similar to what you do during an election period when the city clerk posts who has taken out papers and then who has submitted papers. So I think that's a good model to follow. And I'm also assuming that your discussions about this would be limited by the Brown Act, the same way any other issue that comes before you. Thank you.
Anyone else in chambers wishing to speak about the vacancy item? We'll go out to take it out to the online. Anyone online wishing to speak about the vacancy item? I see one hand.
Yes. Fred?
Hi, this is Mike Gibb. Oh, that's Fred. Hello.
I have your name as Fred. Is this Mr. Gibbs?
Yes, it is.
Okay, go right ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Gibbs.
Go ahead, Mr. Gibbs.
All right, well, let's go to Ms. Garcia.
Hello.
Hi, go right ahead.
This is Mike Gibbs, alias Fred. I am a member of the Economic Development Commission, and speaking on my own behalf, I echo Mr. Murphy's questions. It would be great to have these available before they appear in the packet so everybody can peruse them, and that I'm assuming there will be no discussions about the applicants outside of the Brown Act. I think that's probably a given. My only question is really if one of the candidates is out of town on the 15th, will it be possible for that candidate to have their 5 minutes via Zoom, calling in via Zoom to make the presentation of their qualifications? That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Carmelita Garcia?
Thank you very much. I would echo Mr. Murphy's comments and requests as well. I do have a question. So the last day for the applications to be accepted, is that by 5 p.m. or midnight? If that could be clarified. Thank you.
Debbie Black?
Thank you. And I agree with Mr. Murphy, Ms. Garcia, and regarding the Brown Act, I think that it's extremely important right now. And the fact that for the past 2 years, we have worked very hard on transparency. So I would encourage everyone to be very careful on council as we move forward through the application process. Thank you.
No further hands are raised.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and close the online public comment. Bring it back to the council for discussion. Councilmember Robb?
Yeah, I'm asking for some clarification from Mr. Burke. In all the people calling and trying to whip votes and that kind of thing, can you maybe give us some guidance? And if the answer is that they shouldn't be doing that, can you just make a statement tonight to let people know that they
Yes,
need
thank
to refrain from reaching out?
Right. Thank you for asking that question. I can't stop candidates from reaching out, but I can give you advice, which I will do right now, which is that if you are contacted by a candidate, my recommendation is that you direct them to the city manager if they have any questions regarding the application process. The reason for that is a matter of due process and transparency, so that the opportunity for the council and the public to hear from the applicants will be at the meeting on January 15th. The city manager's indicated that he's recommending that we expand the public comment period from the standard 3 minutes to give each candidate 5 minutes. Also, there will be an opportunity for council members to ask questions of the applicants as well. So there will be that opportunity for communication. And beyond that, the application form, as you can see in your packet, does include a reference to the information that would be requested, which would be a brief description of background and qualifications, and further, that additional information may be attached on separate sheets, and attachment of a resume is desirable. So there's multiple opportunities for applicants to communicate with the council with regards to their background and qualifications and their interest in the position. And as I said, there's opportunities for the council to ask questions, and this will all be in a public meeting so that the council and the public will be hearing those communications. So my recommendation is that if you are contacted by candidates, is that you direct them to the city manager, who could respond to questions that they may have about the application process, because we want to make sure that that's clear and understood. As far as the January 3rd date, I heard one of the members of the public ask about the time. My advice is that we make it 5 o'clock. That's the end of the business day. So I would suggest that that be added to the recommended action, which is the motion where it says January 3rd. We would add to that at 5 p.m. As far as the Brown Act is concerned, that's what I'm here for. So if anybody has any questions about that as we go along through this process, certainly get in touch with me. But I can just advise you now, and the public as well, that the whole purpose of the Brown Act is to make sure that items happen, in public. So rather than through, I don't want to say back channels, but through offline communications, especially for a position such as a council member, we want to make sure that it's an open, transparent, due process procedure that we follow here. And that's why the city manager, I think, is recommending the process that you see in this agenda report. So I can certainly, if that hasn't answered all your questions, I'm a lawyer, I can answer questions. So just ask me the next one.
Thank you very much, Councilman McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. And to follow up on that, we had a question about whether a candidate could speak over Zoom at this meeting. Should we cover that at this time as well, or can you answer that?
So, yeah, we could cover that. Attendance at meetings is allowed both in person and by Zoom. And the agenda itself does say that. So I don't think we need to add that unless you all felt it was necessary. But any member of the public, applicants or otherwise, they can attend by Zoom.
Councilmember Perdue? Thank you. I wanted to just clarify a couple of things too. So at any point in time between now and January 15th, the council is not expected to engage with any of the applicants, correct?
I'm sorry, you asked if you should engage in discussions with the candidates?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
No.
Correct.
You should just say one thing.
Okay.
Speak to the city manager.
Got it. And the applications itself, will they be posted on the website? If not posted on the website, will they be available to the council prior to January 3rd?
They will be attached to the agenda report, which goes out for the for the January 15th meeting, which generally is posted on the Wednesday or Thursday prior to that. And that agenda report is posted on the city's website. So the council will see the applications at that time as well as the public.
Okay. And then I wanted to just find out is there a time constraint on essentially appointing someone here?
The charter doesn't specify a time constraint. So if for whatever reason, you weren't able to come to a decision on January 15th and you needed to, have another meeting later, some future date to discuss it, you could do that. The only time reference that's in Article 12 is the 30-day vacancy. And if the vacancy has been more than 30 days, then the mayor has the opportunity to make the appointment. However, as you saw in the agenda report, Mayor Smith has indicated that he does not intend to exercise that power, if you will, to appoint unilaterally. Is that his preference is, again, as shown in the agenda report, is to seek the input from council, a vote by council on their preferred candidate, and he has said that he will abide by the vote, and only if for whatever reason the council is unable to reach agreement, at least by a majority vote on a candidate, then you need to have someone appointed to fill a vacancy. Then the mayor would take the opportunity to do it at that point, but not before.
Okay, understood. The 5 minutes timeline, is that like set in stone, or can that be changed on January 15th if there are too many applicants, for instance?
The timeline on submission of applications, or
The timeline for the application, the applicants present to the council and the time duration is 5 minutes, as is written in the report. Is that 5 minutes set in stone, or?
No.
Okay.
You could make it whatever time you wish. I mean, I would say it should be at least 3 minutes, because that's how long you allow, general public comment. 5 minutes was a suggestion. If you want to make it longer than 5 minutes, you could do that as well.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I think he's suggesting perhaps that, Councilmember Perdue, that if we have 10 applicants or 15, we would want a shorter time. So perhaps we would I could have some leeway to determine, we could have leeway at the time to determine how long of a time we give folks, depending.
Yeah, the answer to that is yes. The mayor, as the presiding officer, does have the authority to expand or contract the time that the speaker would have to speak. And typically the considerations that Mayor Smith has just mentioned, which would be if you have 10 applicants, if you give them each 10 minutes, then you're, talking about a substantial period of time. Maybe if you have fewer applicants, maybe give them a little more time. So the applicants should be nimble and be able, if they're told on the night that they've only got 5, they should be prepared to trim their comments to 5. Or if they're going to get more time, they might want to have a backup plan to, have some additional points they want to make.
Thank you very much. Follow-up, Councilman?
Yeah, I was just going to say that the attorney has mentioned that the applicants need to be nimble, so duly noted. And I just wanted to ensure that from a timing standpoint, my real concern is really the number of applicants. So the January 15th meeting, this will be the priority, right? This is for Mr. Mogensen. Are there going to be other agenda items that are a priority? If you could push them to the back half of the agenda so that we could finish this first?
Yeah, we
Thank you.
certainly could. So the district voting won't be scheduled for January 15th, so that'll be one of the bigger items in the next couple months. We will have business because we'll have taken a month between meetings, but
Okay,
we
thank you.
can definitely prioritize this.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Amelia.
Yes, Mr. Pirrick. So, and I'm just going to use this for an example. We get, someone wants to be on the Economic Development Commission. And in the past, we've seen applicants who, this is my recommendation for that. But if the applicants are coming in, why can't the council see which applicants are coming in? I mean, if, let's say, 2 applicants come in, why can't we all see it and not discuss it, but just see it online to us?
See the application forms?
Yeah.
You
Well,
will-
to see the app, you indicated on if we go to January 15th, they're going to be, that's when we'll see everybody, but we should see the applicants before. If we get 5 or 6, we should see all those applicants before.
Before what, January 15th?
Yeah. Don't you think?
I'm not
we-
sure how that's going to work. You mean you have another meeting before January 15th?
No, I'm just saying.
You're talking about one-on-one?
online, If suddenly let's just say, Ms. Candell suddenly gets 5 applications.
Right.
Rather than waiting till January 15th, can't we see them?
My
before that?
advice is no. My advice is that in order to keep this as a transparent due process procedure, that we follow the guidelines that you see in the agenda report, which would be applications are submitted, applications are attached to an agenda report. That agenda report gets published with the agenda a week approximately prior to your council meeting. And at that council meeting, you and all the members of the public have an opportunity to hear from each applicant. I consulted with the city manager on this, and this is the process that we came up with that we felt was the most fair to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Any other council members wishing to comment on this?
I do have a clarifying question, yes. On the application itself, I wanted to know if all of the fields there are mandatory. You have 3 modes of contact that I saw there, their home number, their work number, and their email. Because these are going to be public documents, maybe they don't want to share their work number. If they just put in their email, would that be adequate?
So, do you want to take that one, or I'll just keep rolling here? So the answer first, my first response to that is that as we indicate on the form, that the personal information is going to be redacted or removed from the application form, so that won't be visible as part of the agenda packet. And if someone, for whatever reason, didn't want to reveal their work number, that's certainly not going to cause the applicant not to be qualified, if you will, to submit the application. That information is primarily for contact reasons if there was a need to contact them. Maybe, for example, they might say on the application form, see attachment, and then the application comes in and there's no attachment. So this is a way to follow up with the applicant and say, we didn't get the attachment, can you send that in to us? It's not intended to for any other purpose. And as I said, that information is not going to be public knowledge.
Excellent.
All right, well, heard some comments, or would you like to make a comment? Okay, so
I'm looking for some action on this.
I
but
help with
I would
that,
s-
maybe on the recommendation. If you wanted to, we're on recommendation number 2, would be the motion. I would ask that you supplement the motion that's in the agenda by adding, after January through 2025, the time. So it'd be January 3, 2025 at 5 PM. And then also include in the motion that the council is approving the procedure for the January 15th meeting as described in the agenda, with the exception of the time limit, which is 5 minutes, that would be left open to determination at the time of the January 15th meeting. And if you don't want to have to repeat everything I just said, you could just make a motion consistent with the statements that were just made by the city attorney.
Would anyone like to make that motion?
I'd like to make the motion with the statements as was made by the city attorney.
Thank you.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, further discussion here? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and take a voice vote. We don't need a roll call on this.
I think I'd suggest a roll call.
Yeah, we'll take a roll call then.
Thank you. Councilmember Rao?
Yes.
Councilmember Baduri?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Emilio? Councilmember McDonald?
Aye.
Hawkenstick?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Good. I would say passes unanimously. Thank you very much, everyone. And let me take a look at my agenda here. I think we have reached the end of the agenda. We have no full presentations or closed sessions. So I thank you all for coming out this evening. Thanks for joining us. Meeting adjourned.